TIFU by ordering the spiciest hot pot known to mankind. I used to pride myself on my ability to handle spice. But today, technically yesterday as I'm writing this, I proved myself wrong. This all started when I decided to order some hot pot from my favorite local restaurant. This place offers a range of spice levels. Level 0 for those who cannot handle any heat whatsoever. Level 1 for a mild kick. Level 2 for a medium amount of heat. Think spicy ramen or hot buffalo wings. Level 3 for a serious dose of burn your mouth heat. And Level 4, which can only be intended for consumption by the descendants of the deepest depths of hell. I started at Level 2 my first time and found it quite bearable. So I moved up to Level 3 from there, which I had several times and was still able to consume without any serious discomfort. Fast forward to today, when I decide it's time to kick things up a notch. I order the Level 4 spice, which the restaurant describes as simply burning hot. There is definitely a noticeable burn with each bite, but that's not too unusual. At first I attribute it mostly to the temperature of the soup base and simply ignore the mounting pain, because the food is delicious. Meanwhile my nose is running like crazy. My lips and chin are stinging from stray drops of broth, and each new mouthful burns so badly I'm panting in a useless attempt to give my tongue a respite from the heat. I only manage to eat about half of it before I notice that I'm feeling uncomfortably full. I then have a bit of water, which obviously does nothing to assuage the burning. I know that milk is supposed to help, but I despise the stuff and don't keep it around the house. So that's not an option. A quick Google search tells me starchy foods like bread can help. I have some crackers on hand, same thing, right? Kind of. The mouth-burning sensation goes away within a few minutes of eating the crackers. So I think I'm in the clear. Wrong. That's when the full, deadly force of the hot pot finally hits my guts. The onset of the pain is rapid. The mild discomfort I had been feeling transforms into gut-wrenching agony. The sudden rush of sensation takes my breath away. Double-dover. I rush for the bathroom. Vacating my bowels helps only slightly. It takes the pain from a 100 down to about a 99.8. But I still feel like I'm on death's door. Once I make it off the toilet, I flop onto the floor just outside the bathroom door. A sensation like hellfire is ravaging the lining of my stomach. I'm rendered immobile, cursing, gasping, drooling. I try to take some deep breaths but it doesn't help. I quickly have to stagger back to the toilet for round 2. This time as I'm hunched over, shaky, sweaty, and groaning, my mouth starts to fill with bile. Now I'm not sure which end needs to be pointed at the toilet bowl. I stand up and flush, then lean over the toilet for a moment. The new position sends fresh shockwaves of stabbing, twisting pain through my guts. I decide I don't want to know what that hot pot feels like coming back up through my nose. So I forcibly swallow back the bile. Again, I find myself face down on the floor. This time I am, with trembling hands, searching the web for advice. Surely I need medical attention. But I'm in too much pain to get myself anywhere. And while I seriously contemplate contacting emergency services, the humiliation factor is too great. My web search for extreme stomach pain spicy food yields mostly unhelpful results. These fools with their cute little articles about avoiding spicy foods before bedtime and drinking non-fat milk cannot conceive of the predicament I am in. This feels like every stomach flu I ever had as a kid dialed up by 10. It feels the way torture must feel. This is the type of pain that makes enemy spies confess any and everything just to make it stop. During round 3 or 4 on the toilet, I eventually regain enough mental clarity to remember the existence of Tums. I fling myself off the toilet, crawl to my kitchen, and proceed to dump the entire contents of my medicine cabinet onto the floor in search of them. I could cry from relief when I find the bottle. Immediately I take about 5 tablets. Then assume the least painful position I can find. On my knees with my face on the floor. It takes a few minutes. But the burning sensation in my stomach begins to fade. I have the sense to sit up once I am able, so that gravity is doing the work of keeping the contents of my stomach down. After 10 or 15 minutes, I feel well enough to stand and clean myself up. I foolishly believe the ordeal to be over. After a shower and cursory clean of the bathroom, I remember that I have some ice cream in the freezer and, although I'm feeling wildly nauseous, I decide to try having a few bites, hoping it will take away the lingering burn and minimize my pain later on when the contents of my stomach pass into my intestines. Then I crawl into bed and start watching Netflix. Before long, I feel my mouth start to water heavily. I first try to ignore it, but this is like nothing I've ever experienced before. I can't swallow quickly enough to keep it all down. I finally get up when my mouth is filled to bursting with fluid. As soon as I'm vertical, I realize my mistake. I speed to the bathroom just in time to vomit all over the toilet. Close enough, I guess. The hot pot is no less spicy coming back up. As predicted, my nose and throat now feel as though they too are being ravaged by hellfire. Rinsing my mouth doesn't help. Blowing my nose makes it even worse. I force myself to snort a solution of water and baking soda, which helps mildly, and take a few more tums. From there it's a waiting game. Eventually, I start to feel like I'm half alive again, though still too nauseous to even drink water. This all went down about 18 hours ago. I put myself to bed just before 7 p.m. and after about 12 hours of sleep, I still feel pretty damn queasy. Don't think I'll be having anything more spicy than a piece of plain toast for a while. Anyone gone through something similar? TLDR. I ordered the spiciest hot pot available, and after eating it, ended up sicker than I've ever been in my life. Side effects included sweating, diarrhea, dizziness, vomiting, and stomach pain so intense that it made me wish for the release of death. The whole of this reminds me of a review I read on sugar-free gummy bears. It was like Niagara Falls through a coffee straw. F in the chat for your butthole. Nothing worse than your mouth filling with saliva. Even if there's no nausea, you know you're about to puke like there's no tomorrow. This is beautifully and hilariously written. I'm glad you survived. Remember that black tarry stools mean you might have a bleeding ulcer and should see a doctor urgently. I've read about and seen restaurants that make you sign a waiver when eating their nuclear option food. https www.mashed.com/142579/spicy meal, so what you had to sign a waiver to eat them / I'm at most a level 1.5 person when it comes to heat. Bold, big flavors? Yes. The kind of pain you endured? Hard pass. We had a Korean place here, unfortunately a victim of COVID, with a similar scale. 3 was everyday heat. 4 was, I want something hot. And, I wonder what they use for the 5 inches. I never did try their 5. My favorite Danian Chinese place also closed shortly after COVID hit the economy. I swear they dumped half a jar of chili oil on my plate when I asked for really hot. That was enough to make me blow my nose. The last time I paid for eating something hot was the 1-chip challenge with Reaper. I had high-fat Greek yogurt on hand to kill the immediate burn. Still burned on the way out. That kind of violent reaction sounds a lot like food poisoning or a stomach bug that reared its head at the wrong moment. I think a break from that restaurant is warranted. Even a level the 3rd of May bring back some unpleasant memories. Thanks for the entertaining story. Despite your horrible experience. WTF did they put in that food? That does not sound normal or healthy. It sounds like food poisoning. I would never come close to this experience as zero. There I guarantee would be too hot for me. I hear you. Same thing happened to me a few months ago. We moved to an area that has a very big Asian population. At the risk of sounding racist, literally all of them. So we went to a hot pot restaurant. I like spicy food, so I got a 3/5. What I forgot is Asian spice and white people spice are two different things. Restaurants that serve a largely white population tone it down a lot. This one was not one of them. I was a little worried when the pot clearly had a ton of red peppers in them. My wife was smarter, so her broth wasn't as bad. The next day was quite unpleasant. For Naruto fans here, it was like someone was doing multiple Kaden Gukakyu no jutsus out of my asshole. This sounds similar to passing a gallstone, which can be triggered by certain foods. Maybe get your gallbladder checked. Up? At least you were at home and not destroying the restaurant's toilets and possibly never being. Welcome back. When I was in school, I took part in a World Challenge expedition and went to Kenya. We climbed Mount Kenya and our guides recommended a restaurant in the town nearby. Since we'd mostly been eating camping food and stuff cooked on the trail for a while, I figured I'd order a pizza. Back home I'd always order the spicy pizza. So when I spotted that on the menu, I went for it. That day I learned that European spicy and African spicy are two completely different things. That was definitely an experience. It was pretty damn tasty though. Spicy hot isn't there because it's good. It's not for you to enjoy. It's a defense of the plant to not be eaten by things that digest plants. It can actually kill most species that try to eat it. Drop a link or address to the restaurant. Crazy new diet idea. Have level 4 hot pot until you get food PTSD. I was cringing the whole time I was reading this. And I applaud you for your common sense. And trying not to throw up the first time. And now I am weeping because you still did throw up. There's literally nothing worse than pure spice is coming out your nose mixed with stomach acid. Poor you. Rookie mistake, but not a L, just AM at best.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.